Alright, so I'm trying something new today, obviously. And I've been asked a number of times why I make these videos. And I think it's a valid question. It's some people might think, hey, why don't you wait till you're more accomplished and all of that before you do that. And it's 3 years that I've been painting plein air, and really one of the ways that I've learned the most is actually from painting with my friend Richard, who is really quite accomplished, and by observing him and critiquing and things that he's done for me, and has really made a huge impact, and was one of the ways that allowed me to grow fairly rapidly. I'm never happy, but in general, I've learned some basics enough to get by for now. But anyway, the second way I've learned from other people is by watching their videos, and both DVDs that I've purchased. Obviously, I'm a big David Curtis fan, so studied his videos and watched other people's videos, but also on YouTube. I've plowed through a good number of videos on YouTube and seen what people are doing on there, and just basically just trying to pick up ideas. And I'm always jealous. I'm always jealous of people who can just put a stroke down and leave it alone and just leave it there. I wish I was at that place where I was so confident about my color mixing and my strokes that I could be that deliberate about it. I'm not quite there yet. Occasionally in a painting I'll get a glimpse of it where I'll put down some strokes toward the end of the process that I'm really happy with, and I'm able to not mess with them and leave them alone. I know it seems like an odd thing that would be something to struggle with, but believe it or not, it is. And you can see even in my videos that I tend to move a lot of color around and do a lot of mixing on the canvas itself, and a lot of times some of that is due to uncertainty. And it's kind of interesting because it gets a little bit muddy, and you realize you're not doing things clear, and so it's just it can be a mess. But anyway, what my intent is for my videos is I want to show the whole process. I want to show, just make an attempt anyway at presenting, plein air painting for what it is. And if you're one of my viewers, you're part of the process. You get to see the whole thing from my journey and all of its rawness. That's really my goal, and it's a different approach, and I hope it's a good one, and at least it is for me, because if you think about it, my grandchildren are going to view this video someday, and they're going to be able to go and stand in the very spots where I painted these paintings, or they'll find something interesting about this time period of my life, and that's basically in general what I'm after. But the other part is this progression. It took me 3 years of a lot of painting, a lot of failures. Failure might not be the right word, because every painting session is videos come now because I feel like I'm finally at a place where I can, for the most part, I can show people what I'm working on, and you get to see all of it. So, and at the same time, it may be even more complex than the painting itself is. I'm not a videographer. I'm not a video person. I haven't been trained in this, and so I'm having to learn this process at the same time. But I learn it like I learn everything else, asking a million questions to the people who know, and that's hopefully that helps. And my friend Patrick out in California has always been a big help to me in this arena. So thanks Patrick for the assistance, and hopefully the videos are interesting enough that eventually we can get the viewer to hang on longer than 3.5 minutes. So here's a thought about plein air painting. This is one of my favorite aspects of it. You know, when I was in school in Seattle, and one of my teachers was the late William Cumming, Bill would say something to his students, well, he said a lot of things to his students that were shocking, but one of the first things that we would talk about is what does look like? And that's a really complex question, but everyone from their earliest age wrestles with this, and he would free people up to paint and draw without having to think about, you know, what it looks like. Because I mean, when you're a child, you draw something and you tell your parents says, what is this? And you say, it's a house. And your parent says, that's not a house, that doesn't look anything like a house. And they try and make it into something else that it might be, but to you, it's a house. And so his theory was that this is damaging to an artist from the earliest age, because you have to wrestle with what things look like. And so the beauty of what does look like as it relates to plein air painting is you have to look intensely at your subject matter in order to extract the necessary information to create something that's convincing for your audience. So in this particular case, and I realize portrait painting is even a much higher level of this, but you're basically you're replicating a scene. You're displaying, you know, what emotional qualities about this scene attracted you to it. And so you're always wrestling with does this look like what that looks like? And it's actually quite a fun process to do that. And for me, this whole idea of painting is really about seeing. And so what happens when you do become a lunatic enough that you're doing this a lot is you find yourself painting with your eyes, at least, even when you're not in front of your canvas. You're still painting because you learn this art of seeing in an intense way. Things that you, in your everyday normal life, you otherwise might not even really pay attention to, but I'm constantly looking at cloud structures and how light in different times of the day is falling on the clouds, and I'm looking at the way light and shadow are in play in trees a lot, since I do a lot of landscape painting. It's important to observe how trees look and how they age, and our trees are in transition right now, so they're getting their leaves, and so so now the colors and the shapes are starting to change. And so you're driving around, and as you drive, you become a distracted driver because you're actually paying a lot of attention to your surroundings. And this morning, as an example, as I look around here, the trees are highly saturated because it rained a lot yesterday, and so they have these really dark, rich colors to them. And in some cases, the early light is, putting some pretty bright highlights on some of them. So there's a real nice contrast between the light highlight and the really dark saturated wood on the back side where the shadow is. Anyway, that's just a crazy example of some of the stuff that goes through your mind. Living in Michigan was complicated for me at first because I'm a Florida boy, and I love the sunshine, and I love the warmth, and we don't get that a lot here. I will say the summers are beautiful. I love summers in Michigan. The winters are a challenge, at least for me anyway. So painting plein air was actually a really helpful part of that process for me, of making it through the winters. And I often tell people when they ask me about Michigan, I often say that until I started painting plein air, I didn't even really see Michigan, and didn't even really know that a lot of it even existed, because for 6 months of the year I refused to look at it because I didn't like it. And when the snow starts falling, when the leaves come off the trees, and you get into winter where we have a lot of grays, and not only is the sky gray, everything else around it is gray as well. I sort of refused to look at it, so I didn't really see it until I started painting plein air. And now I actually find myself looking forward to the challenge of getting out and painting, all of these subtle colors that make up a winter scene. And it's actually helped me a great deal to paint plein air and actually get out into the winter. Painted in a marsh one time that you can't even get near in the summertime because it was frozen, and we could get deep out into the marsh and walk out there and paint, which was kind of cool. And I've painted when it's been single-digit degrees, and painted in the snow where I couldn't even see my palette or anything. And just lots of different scenarios. I actually really enjoy it now, and it's been very therapeutic for me, and I like it very much. Anyway, so that's what I've got for today. I just wanted to give you a little bit about the why the videos. Why am I doing this? So that's my story, and I will catch you later. All right, so as promised, I'm going to pick the name for the nocturnal painting, and I've got like a random picker program on my phone. So okay, so everybody's name is loaded up, and here we go. And the name is Ellie. So Ellie in Manassas, the painting will be on its way to you, and I know you're going to be excited.